Hi, this is AP Stedham of AP and Kelly as we seat on the campus of Wake Forest in Winston-Salem, North Carolina for the Ole Miss number 5 team in the country from the SEC to take on Wake Forest out of the ACC. My special guest, radio football analyst Lary Sorenson. Hey, Larry.
Nice to meet you. Good to be with you.
My pleasure. My teammate, my co-host Kelly is going to get a charge out of it because you're from the big city.
From Detroit, yes, sir, and proud of it. Go Big D.
So, Larry, what is the path for victory for Wake Forest against this Ole Miss team that I think they score in warm-ups, Larry?
Yeah, they've been unbelievable. 128-3 is the scoring difference in their first 2 games, which is remarkable. Wake Forest can't make any mistakes. If they turn the ball over, they're going to be in big trouble. It's a team that likes to pass, and Hank Bachmeier has been very effective the first couple of games, but I think they're going to have to win the game on the ground, and that's not going to be an easy task. Ole Miss has been able to hold their first 2 opponents to under 30 yards, so it's going to be a really difficult hill for Wake Forest to climb.
What do you like about Hank Bachmeier?
His presence, he's got a very good presence, became very popular with his teammates immediately. Strong arm. He'll take more chances than Dave Clawson likes his quarterbacks to take. You know, he's a bit of more of a gunslinger than Dave Clawson is used to, but he'll let it go. But he's got a strong arm, and he can fit the ball into some holes that some other guys they've had in the past can't.
And he can escape the rush.
He can. He had some trouble last week. He was sacked 6 times, and, that's a combination of a lot of different things that go on. But we're looking for him to get rid of the ball as quickly as possible, hopeful that Ole Miss has not studied the slow mesh films too carefully, and that Damon Claiborne, who's been a fine running back, can break a couple of long runs, get some explosives.
Mm-hmm. You have a wide receiver. I think he averages about a mile a catch.
Donovan Green is an outstanding receiver, and he's been hurt 2 out of the 5 years that he's been here. He's in his 6th year. Taylor Morin is another guy who very quietly has worked his way up to be. He's probably going to go into the Wake Forest Hall of Fame someday by the time this season's over. So some good wide receivers. It's just a matter of quick releases of Hank Bachmeier getting the ball to him.
Who can contribute on defense for the Deacons to slow down Ole Miss?
We aren't quite sure yet if Jasheen Davis is going to play or not. Defensive end who was all ACC last year and is moving towards the top of the charts in sacks, and it'll be a game time type decision with him. Great linebacking core. Dylan Hazen and Bascom have been very, very good linebackers for Wake Forest. Unfortunately, when you start getting to the linebackers core and then your deep backs, it means you're giving too many yards up initially. Yeah. And Kevin Pointer up front at the defensive tackle spot has had a very good season so far.
What have you learned about Coach Clawson? He's had a lot of success here.
Very intelligent guy. The thing that I say about him is he always has 4 solutions. He's got 4 reasons for each solution. Yes. And if you ask him about any step along the way, he can give you 4 or 5 more reasons for why he came to that step. So he's just so detail-oriented. He's very thorough, very complete, real competitor, and has done a great job. He's going to be one of the great all-time coaches at Wake Forest.
Have you had a chance to watch Ole Miss at all, just study them to some degree?
More than I wanted to. Yes, it's a really impressive team. They've done everything well to this point in the season. And I guess I'm from the North, so I didn't realize quite how deep and great the history is. I knew all the wonderful stories about the experience of going to the campus and everything else. Yes. And I went to Michigan, so so we have some good experiences up there. But it's a tremendous program, and they are in the right spot. And Dave Clawson said earlier this week they have used the new system of football and the football scene as well as anybody in the country to build their team.
In the event it's a close score, how about your kicker?
He's not a long guy. He's very accurate. He's second in Wake Forest history in percentage of his completions, but he doesn't have a real strong leg if you start getting around the 50-yard line. And so the wind can be a factor. If you're kicking into the wind in the latter part of the game, Dave Clawson might try some other things, which he did last week. But he's not long, but he's extremely accurate.
That helps. It sure does. Hey, Lary Sorenson, football radio analyst for Wake Forest Team and Deacons. We want to thank you. This is AP Stedham of AP and Kelly as we see it, and stay tuned to our Facebook and social media pages for complete coverage of this ball game between Ole Miss, number 5 in the country from the SEC, versus Wake Forest out of the ACC. Thank you, Larry.
My pleasure.